Hey everybody, welcome to episode 37 of RETRY. Today we're going to be taking a look back at yet another one of my personal favorites, Bubble Ghost, released for the Game Boy by Pony Canyon in 1990. Bubble Ghost is a French PC game that was released in 1987 by Christophe Andriani. The game was released on a bunch of different PC systems, including the Atari ST, the Commodore 64, the Apple IIgs, and even DOS. I'll tell you what, if I had died on this level, I think the gaming gods would have come and taken my Game Boy away. Bubble Ghost is a puzzle game made up of a 6x6 cube of 36 rooms, each room representing one screen and one puzzle, like you see here. As the ghost, you can fly through any of the on-screen objects, but the bubble of course cannot. It'll pop as soon as it touches anything. So your job is to use your ability to blow to gently guide the bubble through all the obstacles on screen. It's really part adventure game, part action game, and a whole lot of puzzle. It really was kind of its own special thing, and I remember loving it when I played it as a kid. This next level has a great example of one of the reasons why I think this game is so unique. You see there, I just blew out the candle. You don't just blow the bubble to get through the obstacles, you have to actually look at the environment, and you can blow on things and actually get extra points and sometimes make it easier to get past. The case of the candle, that flame will actually burst your bubble, so you have to get rid of it. Each room of Bubble Ghost gets more difficult as you progress and provides additional challenges. Like as you see here, I have to fight against a fan just to try to get through that little opening at the top. When anyone first sits down to play Bubble Ghost, it's a pretty brutal learning curve. It takes maybe 10-15 minutes to kind of get the hang of the controls, but once you do, it actually is a pretty good difficulty curve. One of the things that's really interesting is even though the Game Boy version of Bubble Ghost was made on its own, and a lot of the levels are different, they don't have as many winks and nods and in-jokes and references that the original PC Bubble Ghost had, they actually recreated faithfully many of the game's levels. I'll tell you, I've always respected the programmers that can make awesome ports of existing PC and original Nintendo or Sega titles. Now that I think about it, not a lot of titles came straight from PC to Game Boy. Most of them came from the original Nintendo. The developers had to deal with hardware limitations and the obvious black and white color scheme. As you can see here from this screenshot as well, the Game Boy version managed to stay extremely faithful to the gameplay and the room setup of the PC version. The thing that really makes this game playable in the Game Boy version is that all the graphics are well defined. It's very clear what surfaces you can touch and what you can't. This game came out in 1990, and it was the first French video game ever released for the Game Boy. The music for this game was done by Hitoshi Sakamoto-san, and it was only the second game that he ever did the music for. Yeah, that's right. The man who early on in his career made the music to this cutesy little puzzle game would later go on and create music for Final Fantasy Tactics, Odin Sphere, he would contribute to Final Fantasy XII, and even Tekken 6. You see that pulsing star there? Yeah, this is one of the first levels that gave me fits as a kid, and when I went back to replay it, oh, that thing killed me so many times. Although I love the music of this game, I do have one small complaint, and it's that I wish that they had a couple different musical themes that they would switch between to kind of mix it up on the levels. But keep in mind, this was an old Game Boy game. This came out in 1990, before even Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, so look, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. The music it has is awesome, and that's what really counts. Bubble Ghost was released on the Game Boy by Pony Canyon and distributed in the United States by FCI. Pony Canyon is a well-known major player in the Japanese music industry. During the late 80s and early 90s though, they dabbled a little bit in video game production. Bubble Ghost by far was not their only successful video game. They actually bought the rights and produced two major North American franchises, specifically the Ultima series and Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. Did I mention Bubble Ghost had warp levels? Well, this is a great opportunity to show you. This is a screenshot of level 14, and if you just blow the bubble to the left, you'll move on to level 15. But if you've got the guts, you go straight up in between the two stars, right up the middle, and you can warp directly to level 21. I know I'm off on a tangent here, but bear with me. Pony Canyon and FCI were responsible for producing the Nintendo version of A Bard's Tale. Yeah, the granddaddy of all role-playing games, and they brought it to that entire console market. They took the computer version that was already popular here in the United States and introduced it to a whole new audience in Japan. Now it seems like that Japan releases more role-playing games yearly than the United States, and you gotta wonder if Pony Canyon is part of the reason. Pony Canyon's last video game release was in 2003, but the company's still around, they've just shifted their focus more towards music. Same with FCI, they're no longer in the video game business either, but they just shifted their focus to the television business, and they're still doing fine. Even though it never got a sequel, the original concept of Bubble Ghost was incorporated into the 2008 Nintendo DS game Soul Bubbles. That's the great thing about good ideas, is that it never really goes away. Someone will come along and have a new way to present it, and it comes right back. Okay, so now you get my requisite bad news, that this game was never released on any other system, there's no sequels, it's hard to track down. The good news is, though, that original Game Boys are very, very cheap at your secondhand stores right now. Copies of Bubble Ghost usually sell on eBay for $5 to $10, because it's not really one of those rare sought-after titles. So if you want to give this great title a try, it's out there, you just have to do a little more hunting, but the truth of the matter is, it's worth it. Thanks for watching. With VideoGameSaga.com, this is Tony B, and I'm out. Retry? You know it.